What's happening, guys? Welcome back. We're going back to the body panels today. Alright guys, we are moving back onto the fiberglass, largely because it seems like that's what most of you guys are interested in. I am doing the welding cart in the background. I got a couple more things I need to clear up on that before I show it to you guys. I want to show you guys the final product, but I'm doing that in the background. We're going to move on to the fiberglass body panels again. Last time you guys saw this cowl, we were putting some drywall patch kind of on the front plate because we had that issue with the wax bleeding through. So that's all on there. I think we're built up to the point that we can start sanding it and get a final product. So the goal for this episode is to get this cowl mold to the point where we're actually gel coating it and getting it ready for the fiberglass molding. So first steps first, I'm gonna grab a sanding block and some sandpaper and get this drywall mud as flat and level as we can. All right, we got her all sanded fairly straight. There's still a couple of high and low spots, but they're like a 1/16 of an inch. So not gonna worry about that. Next step is gonna be just some primer. This will seal in that drywall mud and keep it from like sucking up the shellac that we're gonna final coat with. It'll also give us something to kind of sand back again. We did all the sanding on the drywall mud with 150 grit. Once we coat it in primer, we'll sand it back again with like a 220, and this will fill in a bunch of those sanding marks in the drywall mud. So we're just trying to get it as smooth and straight as possible, so when we actually go to lay the gel coat on, it has a nice surface. So I'm gonna grab a brush and throw in a coat of this. All right, that looks pretty good. I laid it on pretty thick, so that hopefully it'll kind of fill some of those sanding gouges a little bit. Tonight, I'll come back a little bit later once this coat's dried and throw another coat on, so just to build up that little bit of thickness, so that when we come back with you guys tomorrow, we'll be able to sand it nice and smooth and move on to the shellacking step. So we'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. We are back! It's a new day. I got a new haircut. I came out last night like I promised and put another coat of primer onto the cowl mold. Buck, I guess we call it now. So what we're gonna do now is sand all that back as smooth as we can, hopefully not breaking through anywhere. I think we're gonna start with some 150 grit just to knock some of like the big chunks off, some of the big humps, and then move on to like a 220 or something. Just try to get it nice and smooth, and then I got some shellac over there. We'll mix that up, stick her on. So let's get to work. All right, I think I'm gonna skip the whole 220 grit step. The 150, I actually got it pretty smooth, and I don't have any 220 grit. The next one I have is 400 grit wet sanding paper, and it's just not gonna do anything. So instead, we're gonna just call that good enough and throw a coat of shellac on it. And then hopefully that'll fill in some of the minor scratches. So let's grab that. I'm gonna put it on with a roller, I think, too, because brushing this on leaves a whole bunch of brush strokes. So hopefully if I put the shellac on with a roller, it'll eliminate a bunch of this sanding that we have to do. So let's grab that and put her on. All right, slight change of plans. I have a roller, but I don't have a paintbrush for the shellac, and I'm gonna need one to get into the little like grooves. So quick pause. I'm gonna run to Canadian Tire, and I'll be back with some paintbrushes. Canadian Tire had gummy worms. Let that dry. I'll hit it with some 400 and put another coat on, and then I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow once all that's done, and we can start gel coating this thing. So yeah, we'll see you then. All right, we're back. I did what I said. I sanded back that coat of shellac and put on another coat. So we got a fairly smooth surface to work with now. Today we have to do the mold release wax. It calls for like 6 coats of this stuff, waiting like an hour between coats. So this might take all day. But the plan is still to get the gel coat on here. So if we can get this on, mix up some gel coat quick, throw a layer of gel coat on, so that next week we can start fiberglassing. So I'm gonna grab, I think I might have a foam applicator pad actually, or a rag or something, and start rubbing some wax into this thing. All right, now we gotta let that sit for about half an hour to an hour, and then rinse and repeat. Alright guys, I hate to do this, but I have to end the episode there. We didn't get to gel coating the plug, but turns out putting 6 coats of wax on and waiting an hour in between them takes up a pile of time. I also had to run out to get some pieces bent for the welding cart, so that kind of ate into the day. And I don't want to start gel coating now because it's getting pretty late. So we're gonna leave that there. Next episode, we'll gel coat it, and then we should be able to get right onto the fiberglassing and making an actual mold. So we'll do that next week. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. If you like what you see, hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next week. I'm out of here.